I know. So, as a little side note on how great the Hard Rock is, but I had to explain to one of my staff members who's younger and newer to the business side of things that you share everything. First of all, most people can't execute it. That's at the end of the story, they can't execute it, and they certainly can't execute it the way you do. They can't do it with your panache, they can't do it with your passion, they can't do it with your style. They can't, even if you flub it up, they can't flub it up the way you do, you know? So just share what you gotta do. It's absolutely built my career. Okay, so a little bit about me, just to make sure you know I really am a school owner. I'm located in the 5th largest city in the nation. I think we just passed Philadelphia and San Diego for that positioning. My competitive analysis is that there's 57 schools in my state. Do you think that's enough? In Arizona. 38 are Cosmo and skincare schools in my specific market, which is the Phoenix market. And I have every manufacturer branded school that exists as my competition. And my biggest challenge is demand for quality educators. I have found that an excellent hairdresser does not make an excellent educator. And an educator who comes into my school and says, I've been teaching for 26 years, I teach theory. I'm like, just even the word about sends me to the moon. You know, how does that grab in my student? I said, well, that's great. So 26 years, wow, are you a lady? Are you Pivot Point? Tell me a little bit more about you. She talks about herself a little bit, and then she asks me, what time she's going to get a break to read her People magazine. In the interview. God love her. I said, you, honey, are a pear on my apple tree. You are moving on. I am growing apples here, not pears. So, had to move. And I hadn't even hired her, poor thing. She was probably like, wow. Okay, so we're 14,000 square feet. Not sure what that was a good amount. We're not in a retail center, so we have a lot of effort to drive our clinics so that our students get real meaningful, hands-on work on real hair and real skin, so that they can come to you and say, look, I've done 185 facials, or I've done 200 haircuts. We have a career center, photo shoot area, staff student library, 4 main classrooms. I'm kind of big into technology. If anyone in your company is tracking things in Excel, you should have a problem with that. Because my staff tracked everything in Excel. And I was like, no, we have software for that. We have software for that. I have point of sale appointment book software. I have back of the house student management software. I have security software. And whenever they come to me with these little Excel spreadsheets, I'm always like, what are you doing? Because that means they're back there working on their little Excel spreadsheet when all you have to do is push a little button and the software does it for you. So, well, let me just tell you, software saves time. You just got to go to the user conferences. You just got to hang out with them and ask dumb questions and get smart. We have LCD projectors, laptops, XM radio. The students get to pick which zone on the XM radio they get by how much retail they've sold. You have no idea how exciting that is. And then they try and sneak in like channel 28, which is the explicit music channel, and I know, and I stop that right away. We have DVD players and we have microphones because it's a learning environment, and I better keep them on their game. A few differences about me. You cannot encourage someone to go to beauty school. My school's $13,000 for skincare. It's $17,500, 1,600 hours. I cannot invite a student to come into a lucrative, wonderful industry like ours and then pay $11 an hour to my educators. It's a sin, and it shouldn't be happening in beauty schools. It is not okay. We want professors. We want the best people, and I don't disagree with Bonnie, but my part-time educators have really transformed my school, because you know what? They're like, Bonnie, she comes in for a couple days and teaches, and then she goes back into the salon. She's got the heartbeat of the industry happening right at her hand. So for me, part-time works. Full-time, of course, are my core, but I gotta pay them. I would say 50% of my staff came to me telling me that the other schools were out paying $11, $12 an hour. $12 an hour is $24,000 a year. That's sinful. I either better charge enough, or I better figure out my expenses or as low as possible and get me some people that are going to be valued and cared for. We offer all of our benefits and health insurance and 401ks, et cetera. I listen to them. I feel like for my staff, the curriculum mapping is the most important, and I listen to my owners, you all. So when Par Excellence hires one of my graduates, I say to her, well, how did it go? She said she's a little slow on that blow dry. Boy, I am back on day 74. I'm like, look, the employers are not happy with the speed. We got to work on it. We got to get back into dialogue with who matters. Who matters? You guys matter. My students matter, don't get me wrong. Of course they matter. But if I can't get them to be doing what you need them to do, why have the school? My best educator remains a student. A lot of times I am terminating or saying goodbye, we're going to miss you, to educators who aren't willing to give me Sundays and Mondays. The school's open Tuesday through Saturday. I am all over bringing in the education, and I don't know how you guys get the challenges, and I know there's a lot of time and commitment, but if my educators aren't the best, my school's not the best. I know my core values inside and out. There's 6 of them. Innovating education, excelling through teamwork, communicating authentically, sustaining profitable systems, supporting the community, and one message. We have one message, and everything we do is in that same vein and thread. And that's actually my school, my little front desk, and my students. And my message to them is that this school is consistent. What you're going to see and hear from us is going to always be reliable. I am mindful in what we do. We do not do things casually. We take time. We execute quick, but we take time to be mindful, and it's safe. The first thing a student does when they walk into a building or a teaching environment is they say, am I safe? And if you have an educator in your salon or spa that's doing a lot of classes with your team, put them through mindful teaching. It's a pivot point system, if you will. It transformed my school. It's a wheel of teaching, and about this much of the wheel is the lecture. And it's about getting the room ready, getting the learner ready. Where's the curiosity sit up? Am I safe? How am I going to learn? It allows someone to teach when they don't have that formal teaching degree. It could be a very big benefit. I find with my staff and my students that the more transparent I am, the better the leader I am. And they always think I got something else up my sleeve. I don't know what it is. There's like this sort of like vibe of like, yeah, you're going to Chicago for 9 days. What are you really doing there? Speaking at a couple conventions. It's going to be great. Yeah, are you buying a school there? No, I'm not buying a school there. Yeah, are you selling? No, I'm not selling. Like, I don't know what it is, but there's like this. So the more transparent, if they keep asking me questions like that, I might sell, but the more transparent I am, the more I think they find the ways to believe. And we want them to believe in us as leaders. When I start feeling like I'm trying to dodge an issue or, oh, how are we going to handle this one? That's when I get up in front of them. And I get up in front of them and I say, guess what? I had to terminate someone today, and let me explain to you why. And when that happens, it sounds like I terminate people a lot, I really don't. But when I do, I got 155 students all looking at me like this. You know, and I'm like, okay, you know, Lisa's no longer with us. She's going to be teaching somewhere else. And they're not. Yeah, we hate Joe Kohler. That's what they're looking at me like, you know. And my father says that you're really not successful until someone hates you. So that should make you feel a little bit better. Yeah, I say that all the time. Yeah, but I'm transparent. I say to them, the educator's no longer with us. They've made a choice to move on. They've made a choice to do this. They've made a choice to do that. I don't know. I had an educator. I'm a Goldwell school. She brought in Matrix, So Color, because she just didn't want to learn Goldwell. The day it's the Lisa Academy, you get to do that. But guess what?